Okay, we have 25 people. Okay. I hope I'm audible. Yeah. Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to today's session. My name is Shaza, and I'm part of the LUMS Career Services Office. I'm delighted to welcome you all to this part of the summer development program at the CSO. This session is part of the Career Exploration series, and today's workshop is about gaining real world clarity on what it takes to breaking into the world of commercial and business analytics, especially if you're just starting out or you don't come from a tech heavy background and you want to explore this dimension but are unsure of how to enter this. We're excited to have with us Mr. Shaheer Bhatti. He is the manager of digital growth and analytics at Mobilink Microfinance Bank. He was also part of S&P Global prior to this, and he'll be leading this incredibly relevant and practical discussion. Before we get started, I'd like to share some webinar ground rules to make sure that this is a smooth and engaging session for everyone. First of all, please use the chat for Q&As. Although Shaheer can talk a bit more about that, how he wants to take the session in terms of the questions and answers. But if there's anything that you feel like saying at any point, please feel free to add it in the chat. Please be respectful and professional. Keep your messages focused towards the aim and motive of this session. And lastly, try to engage as much as you can. You can send your thoughts, reactions, whatever feels relevant. That's all from me, and I'll hand it over to Shaheer now. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Just wanted to ask as well that can the participants turn their cameras on?
Yeah, I can enable it for them, but it's up to them if they want to turn it
It's
on or
not
not. Yeah, yeah.
necessary. Yeah,
Maybe I'll
it's
enable
not
it for them.
necessary, but yeah, I would really
Maybe
like
I
it
get it.
if you can. I just want to keep it as interactive as possible, and just as Shiza said, that you can ask your questions in the chat box, or if your questions are not being answered, then yeah, of course you can raise your hand or you can speak. It's perfectly fine by me. And if you can let me know that if I'm audible to everyone, that would be
Yeah, you're
great.
audible,
Just
and
a
I've
thumbs up.
turned on the microphone and camera for participants. So, guys, if
Uh,
you want to make it a bit interactive, you can turn your cameras on.
no one's forcing you. Just if you want to, that would be great. Or not, we can we can start. So Shiza has already gave a quick introduction. Let me share my screen. I have slides with me, but if during the session you feel like it's getting boring, yeah, काफी repetitive चीजें हो रही हैं, you can let me know. We can change the course of it. We can make it as relevant for you as possible because this 1.5 hours is yours. You will decide what you want to get out of this session, and I will try to help you guys and assist you as much as I can. And let me just quickly share my screen. Let me know when you can see it. Thumbs up would be great. So welcome to the session, everyone. Thank you very much for joining. And yeah, so data carriers, I try to make this presentation as concise as possible and as relevant as possible for you guys. So as she has already given you my introduction, I did my bachelor's in accounting and finance. Then I moved in S&P Global as an analyst. And then while I was working, I was also doing my master's in accounting analytics, and now I'm a manager at digital growth and analytics. Let me just quickly, if you all can go to menti.com, and this is the code that I've shared. If you can go to that, that would be great. This is the code. I can also paste it in the chat. This is the code, and let me know when you can join, or if there's any difficulty in joining, do let me know. Okay, you can see the thing. That's great. Yeah, just give a one word answer. What comes to your mind when you hear the word data? What does it mean to you? Numbers, great evidence backed data, information. Yeah, these are great answers. Analysis. Okay, interesting. Yes. Okay, yeah, these are great answers. Who wrote scattered? That's interesting. Raw information. Yeah. Great on point. Okay, these are great answers. I really liked someone who wrote scattered raw information. Scattered something we'll talk a little bit later. This is very apt for the analogy that I really like to give of data. So yeah, these are all great answers. And whoever wrote analysis, this is a great answer, but do remember it for the next question as well. Insights. Yeah, both analysis and insights. Whoever wrote this, great. But let's wait for the next question. I think we should move on. These are all great answers. Causality. Interesting. I think everyone has typed their answers. Shall I move on? Evidence backed decisions, ordered or unordered formation. Good. Great. I think let's move on. Now, what comes to your mind when you hear the word analytics? There was someone who also wrote in data analytics. If data is analytics, then what do you mean by analytics? Analysis. Great. Yeah. Collected observation, story of the data, patterns. Yeah, exactly. Extracting insights from. Relation in data. Very interesting answers and very relevant as well. Are we still typing or should I move on? Okay, let's move on. Now, what about insights? Now, we've talked about data, we've talked about analytics. Now, what about insights? What do we mean by that? Turn information, findings, revelations, interesting information. Can you type in the chat that how insights are information? And I think someone else in that previous slide of analytics also wrote about information. What kind of information is insights? And why not? Analytics is not. Why analytics is not information and why insights are information? Light bulb moment. Can you expand on this? That's an interesting term. Get to know more about it. Perspective, actionable direction. I think that's interesting answers. People are still typing in patterns, perspective, actionable direction, conclusion. Okay, I think we are good. Oh, I thought I was sharing my screen. Okay, revelations. Yeah, these are all very relevant. And now, after a few minutes, I will talk more about how they are different, and some of you have pinpointed it greatly between a distinction of analytics and insights. That is good. Now, let's just move on. This is just a quick uh, poll that what do you guys think? Do you guys need programming to get into analytics or not? I'm just going to give you guys a hint. I did my bachelor's in accounting and finance. So, and then I started as an analyst. So, there's your hint. There's a 50-50 here. I think let's move on. This is great. Just wanted to have this icebreaker session to know where you guys stand, what your understanding of data, what's your understanding of analytics inside, and what you guys think that whether or not we need programming to get into analytics or not. We'll cover that more into detail. Now I think we should let's move on. Share my screen again. So let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, it's apparent.
Perfect. Now, you guys, I like to give this analogy of ingredients when I talk about data. Now, imagine yourself, you are standing in the kitchen, there are ingredients all over the place. This is how data is. It's raw, it's everywhere, uh, it's not clean. You have to do a lot of transformations, a lot of things to make it usable for your analytics. That is the cooking process. Once you get the ingredients, you will do some sort of transformations to it so that it's usable for this whole cooking process, and that is analytics. If I give an example, for example, there's this raw data of a store, and then you trying to get किसका revenue कितना है, how much is the revenue, that is the sum of sales, that is your revenue, and that is the whole process of cooking. Now you are in this place that you can make sense of the data. ठीक है, हमारे पास ingredients हैं, we have the data all over the place. Now कुछ थोड़ा बहुत इसकी समझ आ रही है कि डेटा हमारे से क्या क्या है, कि सेल्स इतनी है या सेल्स इतनी इंक्रीज हो गई है. Whereas the insights is like the final dish. Revenue इतना है, क्यों है? That is the question. Expenses हमारे कम हुए हैं, तो क्यों कम हुए हैं? Revenue increase हुआ है, why? Sale लगी हुई थी, prices कम होंगी. There are a lot of whys that are taken into consideration, and this is what insights are. Analytics हमें hardcore number बताएगा. Think of yourself as a business owner. अगर कोई आपको आगे बताता है in your account or in your data department कि sales has increased, what will you do with that information? That is basic kind of a useless information for you because you do not know कि sale क्यों increase हुई है. So think of like this. जब you are seeing the data, it's raw, it's everywhere, it's scattered, and most of the times it's not even usable. You cannot create analytics out of it क्योंकि इतना खराब डेटा होता है, उसमें इतनी ज्यादा इंफॉर्मेशन या तो मिसिंग होती है या सही फॉर्मेट में नहीं होता, that you cannot do any analytics on it. And analytics is like a uh, very first part of this whole analyst journey. Analytics is बहुत बेसिक है. कोई भी एनालिस्ट कोई भी एनालिटिक्स निकाल के दे सकता है, वो कोई भी मंथ ओवर मंथ ग्रोथ निकाल देगा, कोई भी सम ऑफ रेवेन्यू निकाल देगा, सम ऑफ सेल्स निकाल देगा. बट insights, that is where your analytical mindset, that is where you will bring value to the businesses. So that's the whole journey: data, analytics, and then insights. And that is what you have to remember. Analytics tells you what happened, insight tell you why it happened and what to do next. Again, that decision making part of things. अब हो गया है, अब क्या करना, क्यों हुआ है और क्या करना है. So that's the whole journey of an analyst. Now, as you guys have mostly, like there was a kind of 50-50 there. You guys need programming to get into analytics. I won't say that programming is not important in analytical roles. It is very important. But if you want to start into analytics, it's not. The basics are, again, Excel. Just learn it, be good at it, be efficient at it. How to get different, how to do different analytics quickly. Just have that in mind. SQL is extremely basic. Literally 3 functions and just if you can memorize and do that. Because SQL, why SQL is important? I don't even consider जो basic, even कि जो मैं भी use करता हूँ डे टू डे में. It's very basic कि उसके लिए आपको कुछ भी आगे पीछे प्रोग्रामिंग की जरूरत नहीं है. It's literally these 3 to 4 lines of code कि select करना है, कौन से columns करने हैं और कहाँ से करने हैं. Why SQL is important? Because most companies have their own data warehouses जहाँ पे सारा data repository होती है, and you have to get that data from that data warehouse to your BI to that's where Power BI or Tableau comes in. Mostly Excel, SQL, and Power BI or Tableau is going to be used. But if someone, for example, I recently joined Mobile Bank, so I'm in the digital team. Here I'm looking at the app growth. उसके लिए I need to get to know about the Firebase and AppsFlyer, जो कि बहुत ज़्यादा app analytics पे focused है. That's where these tools come in. But most of the times, Excel and SQL is something, and Power BI and Tableau. Mostly companies are Power BI पे shift हो गई, but Tableau is still widely used because it's also good. Power BI is more user friendly, easy to understand, and easy to get better at it than Tableau. तो ये 3 चीजें हैं. Excel again pivots हैं, VLOOKUPs हैं, XLOOKUPs. These are very basic. Or even if you are not in analytics role, Excel is something जो कि आपको use करना ही करना पड़ेगा no matter what. SQL again, it's a good to have skill, 3 to 4 lines of code. It's pretty much very basic. और जो आपको day to day में use भी करना पड़ेगा, it's very basic. And then Power BI and Tableau is something you need to be good at. Why? Because Power BI and Tableau is where you will be doing most of your transformations. But what I mean by transformations is, for example, आप date table लेकर आए, date column है आपके data में, but the type of that column is text. You have to change that type of the column to the date column. These kind of small transformations. And then जितनी भी और जगहों से डेटा आ रहा होगा उसको मर्ज करना, उसको एक ही साथ विजुअलाइज करके दिखाना. This is why Power BI and Tableau is important for you guys. AppsFlyer and Firebase you can leave it for now. लेकिन if you are interested इस टाइप की रोल में आने की तरफ, ऐप एनालिटिक्स की तरफ, then please focus on these. फिर Power BI and Tableau को थोड़ा सा बैकसीट पे रखें, focus on Firebase and AppsFlyer. The other most important thing is communication skills. This is something that I've learned the hard way, because when you are an analyst, आप बहुत ज़्यादा focused होते हैं towards your technical skills. कि मैंने डैशबोर्ड कितना अच्छा बना दिया, मैंने कितना complex बना दिया. But the thing is, people don't need complex things. They need simple, and even if it is complex, उनकी needs cater हो रही हैं या नहीं. I'll just give you my example. I learned Power BI while I was working at S&P Global. और जितना कुछ मुझे आता था Power BI में, I just created a dashboard. It was complex, it was still user friendly, but it was very complex dashboard. और मैंने वो रिलीज कर दिया. But the sales team जिसके लिए रिलीज किया, sales team, they came back and said, this is completely useless for us. Because हमें जो चाहिए वो काफी मुश्किलों से हमें मिल रहा है इसमें. We have to do a lot of manual work. We have to go to different tabs to get the relevant information. So उस complexity का कुछ at the end of the day कुछ result नहीं है. And that is sort of communication, how you're communicating your data through visualizations, through your reports, through your analysis, through your insights. Again, the presentation skills is part of the job, because you will be collaborating a lot with different departments, because you will not be working in silos, you will be working with a team, and that team will be working with different teams. So not only you should be able to communicate your analysis to the product side, to the more technical side, but also to the sales side or to the C-suite executives. जिनको नहीं फर्क पड़ता कि आपने एक्सेल यूज किया है, एक्सेल यूज किया है, एसक्यूएल यूज किया है, पावर बीआई यूज किया है या पाइथन यूज किया है, दे डोंट केयर। दे नीड कि निकल क्या है उसमें से, व्हाट आर द इनसाइट्स, हाउ विल योर इनसाइट्स बेनिफिट द बिजनेस। तो इसके लिए communication is extremely important. Or I'm not saying be extremely articulate or uh, be someone जो TED talks they just to how you can make complex things easier to understand for people. How can you present your insights in a much better way कि हर किसी को wider audience को समझ आए। अगर कोई टेक्निकल साइड है उनको भी समझ आ जाए, and if someone who is a managerial level position who do not know about the technical side of things, उनको भी easily आपकी बात समझ आती है। So that's what communication skills is. I have given these YouTube channels जहाँ से मैंने बहुत कुछ सीखा इसके बारे में। एक्सेल हो गया, I think there's a 4-5 hour long video of basic Excel. You can go there and learn from it. Power BI का InCube is an amazing channel. Pura Power BI A to Z, I learned it from this channel. Again, there are more sources. These are just वो वाले sources हैं जहाँ से मैं खुद सीख रहा हूँ या सीखा है, और जो continuously मैं जिनको follow करता हूँ, so these are those resources. But again, इसके साथ साथ do follow data analyst on LinkedIn and YouTube as well, because so that you can always on the lookout कि क्या नया हो रहा है industry में, whichever you are industry you are in or you are interested in, or whatever kind of a role you are interested in. So you will be very up to date कि कौन सी industry में क्या हो रहा है, बाकी लोग कैसे काम कर रहे हैं, what tools they are using, what analytics they are using, what kind of nuance analysis and insights they are giving. So उसके लिए वो वाली साइट भी always be on a lookout. ऐसे लोग उनको follow करो, बेशक पाकिस्तानी है पाए के हैं, doesn't matter. Just look for those analysts जो कि इस space में हैं and they are continuously giving this educational content. Do follow those people. Then Tableau, अभी I'm also in a journey of learning Tableau because mobile में they are using Tableau, so I have to learn it. So programming knowledge is something I'm watching a lot of videos of this to understand. Free code camp, even though बहुत बड़ा course I guess 1.5-2 घंटे का है, आपको इतनी जरूरत भी नहीं होगी, just or if you can find a half an hour 15-minute video, that believe me that would be efficient, sufficient for you guys, because बहुत ही बेसिक लेवल पे स्टूडेंट, अगेन एंड अगेन आई एम रीहाइड्रेटिंग द सेम थिंग, लेकिन ये है कि काफी बेसिक है, एवरीवन कैन अंडरस्टैंड इट, तो इतना मसला नहीं। नाउ अगेन एप्स फ्लायर और फायरबेस इनके अपने इनके अपने यूट्यूब चैनल्स हैं, सो दे आर कॉन्स्टेंटली पुटिंग आउट द वीडियोस, और उसमें हर एक चीज ही ऑलमोस्ट बता रही हूँ, मैं खुद भी एक्सप्लोर कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि आई एम ऑल्सो न्यू to this field. So apps like Firebase, Google Analytics भी है, not very widely used, but apps like Firebase is very very nuanced. So उसलिए अगर आप पूरी साइट बनाना to follow these. Again, independent YouTube channels हैं जो कि इस पे वीडियोस बना रहे हैं. Check that out as well. It's free of cost, so it's easier to learn this way. But yeah, अगर Coursera पे courses करने हैं या कहीं और करने हैं, that's also great. But I believe YouTube is a much better place. Uh, किसी को कोई questions or should we move on? Okay, no questions. Now, analyst mindset. What is that? It's not something कि आप analyst बनते हो, the moment you become an analyst, you create an analyst mindset or you are born with it. It's not something like that. It's practice, and the more you practice it, the more you'll get better at it. Because I guess when I asked the question of what do you mean by data, and those icebreaking questions, someone typed in observations, I guess. So that's what whenever you look at the data, observe it. What does it tell you? उसके columns क्या दे रहे हैं? Understand the data. Because if you cannot, or if you don't understand the data, आपके analytics and insight will be very shaky. It will be all over the place. हो तो जाएगा काम. Analytics भी निकल जाएंगे, insight भी किसी तरीके से निकल जाएंगी, but those won't bring any value to anyone. So understand the data and ask the right questions. The right questions is the bigger picture. आपके पास data आ गया. What to do with it now? What is the end goal? Ask this. And since you have the data, never assume anything. Okay? Even your manager comes to you and says, okay, I need the list of users who were active in the last 1 month. Ask, what do you mean by active? Every context have different meaning. Every active, everywhere active means something else. Sometimes active is just कि किसी ने app पे login कर लिया. Sometimes active means that they are active more than once in a month. Sometimes active means that they have more than 100 usage in a month. Usage is every time you click on something, usage is created. So for example, if you open an app, if you're logging into an app, that's one usage. If you search on something, that's another usage. But again, it varies from industry to industry, from product to product. So understand what the data is telling you and ask the questions. कि bigger picture क्या है? What do we have get out of it? End result हमारा क्या है? End goal क्या है? That way जो आपका देखने का तरीका होगा डेटा का वो काफी different होगा. Then you will not be looking at the data like an associate level analyst. You'll be looking at the data like a CEO or like a business owner. कि overall holistic picture क्या है? And then you can turn those numbers into meaning. Again, coming back to the same example of sales, कि sale increased by 30% in the last month. Why? Sale लगी हुई थी, free shipping थी, कोई campaign चल रही थी, holiday season था, कोई ईद वगैरह आ रही थी, कोई festival आ रहा था. So ask these questions. So why? क्यों हुआ है? Because the thing is, as an analyst, your job is not to just give these numbers. इस numbers का किसी को कोई फायदा नहीं होगा. If you bring these numbers to me, what will I do with it? Or what will your manager do with it? Or what will the board of directors will do with this 30%? 30% है, if there was a sale, then now what should we do in the future? क्या इस किस्म की सेल्स लगाते रहनी चाहिए? क्या सेल्स के साथ हमने और भी वेरिएबल्स को देखना है कि was there a holiday? Was there a festival? Was there a marketing campaign of free shipping? Or was there something else, some other variable? So keep these things in mind whenever you come out with some number, some kind of analytics. Keep this in mind that why have we reached to this number? And then again, simplify the complex. Because the thing is, no one likes complex things. आप उनको बताते रहोगे ऐसा हो गया वैसा हो गया, no one cares. They just need in simple language, in simple terms. And if you can skip the jargon, that's great. But jargon is important, but keep it to very industry specific. अब हर industry का different jargons होते हैं. I'm also trying to understand कि microfinance के jargons क्या. People are talking about a lot of things, and I'm not getting anything nowadays. So jargons are important if they are extremely industry specific, and everyone knows about those jargons. Then jargons works well. But even then, try to avoid it as much as you can. Because if you don't, the problem is आपका आधा टाइम ये समझाने में लग जाएगा what do you mean by that jargon. Again, if when I gave you the example of active users, what do I mean by active users? अगर किसी को नहीं पता, so half of my time would be spent there, और बाकी टाइम जब तक मैं एनालिटिक्स और इनसाइट्स वाली साइड पर आऊंगा, they would be completely zoned out by that. So just make sure you simplify things. Don't make it अगर अपने लिए complex बना लो, but whenever you are presenting it, whenever you are building a report or a presentation or giving a presentation, just make sure that keep things as simple as possible. Numbers, the reason behind numbers. Numbers, the reason behind numbers. That's pretty much it. No need to use jargons, no need to make things more complex. If someone is trying to get into the nitty-gritties, then sure, do that. Because because you have to uh, make them believe that you are the right man for the job. Then it would be great. But yeah, mostly it's good not to use jargons. Now a day in the life of an analyst, मतलब सारी कहानी होगी, data हो गया, analytics हो गए, हमारे insights हो गए. But what do we do in our day? Nowadays, MMBL is in the transition of creating a data warehouse. So nowadays, my day to day is just looking at downloading the Excel files from different uh, portals, understanding the data, making sure that how I can make this process more robust, more automated. And then the analysis part of thing is there as well. You'll be lucky if you can get into an organization where there's a good data warehouse, a good system of data repository. That would be an amazing thing for you guys, because you do not have to spend a lot of time in cleaning up the data, because that is the worst part of being an analyst. It's not always fun, uh, but yeah, it if it's not, then yeah, it's very manual, very grunt work that you have to do every day, downloading the files, making sure they are clean, making sure that, again, the files are too large. And as you know, that there's a limit for Excel that more than 1 million rows cannot come there. So you have to find a workaround for that as well. So it's extremely manual work at times. It's not always fancy. The name itself is very fancy, data analyst or business analyst. But yeah, the work sometimes becomes very redundant, very blunt. Uh, and and again, coming back to that communication part of thing, is if I'm looking at digital growth, I cannot work in a silo. I cannot sit alone in a room and start working there without collaborating with anyone. I have to collaborate with the product team because I want to see what they are doing with the UI UX, if they need my input or not, if I can, and if they need my input or not, I will give it to them. And if I think that there's something that looks off, I will definitely give my input into it, because I will be responsible for the growth part of things. And if the UI UX is not good, how can I convince people to come use the app? Again, uh, I am also working with the business team, because their job is to make sure that everyone comes to the app. Now I have to push them as well. I have to look what they are doing. So communication again becomes very important. Also, I'm working with the marketing team, because I have to tell them what kind of marketing campaign they have to run at what time for what demographics. Of course, they are going to give their inputs as well, but a lot of times, if we are in the digital, if I'm looking at the digital growth part, everything that is related to digital part of thing, that will be coming from me. They will be giving me inputs, and sometimes they will be coming up with the campaigns themselves. So, for example, they are just quite recently, uh, they are trying to push towards women accounts. They want more women to open their accounts on Mobile Impact app. So for that, uh, they met with us, with the digital team. I was there, another analyst was there to understand their needs so that we can make sure that whatever marketing campaign we are running is very, very specific to those segment and what kind of campaign will be there. And that's where marketing will comes in. That's where risk also comes in sometimes, or compliance, to see that whatever that we are showing it to our customers is compliant with our policies. So as you can see that there are different teams that we have to work with. If you think that as an analyst, I used to be a very introverted person. I still am. I don't like to talk a lot. But here the thing is that it becomes like kind of आपकी मजबूरी बन जाती है. You have to talk. You have to communicate. You have to make sure that you are up to date on every other thing. Marketing में क्या हो रहा है, business side में क्या हो रहा है, product side में क्या हो रहा है. So you have to be very, very proactive in that regard. And again, these tools are something, if you are not in the uh, app analytics domain, these three tools are perfectly uh, perfectly fine for you. Just be very good at it. Excel, SQL, Power BI, or Tableau. Just pick one or both. That would be great if you can pick both these tools and learn them. That would be great. But either or would be fine as well. क्योंकि अगर आपको एक समझ आ गया दूसरे पे ट्रांजिशन करना इज कंपैरेटिवली इजी rather than आप दोनों साथ साथ सीख रहे हो. It will be difficult. But अगर किसी ने if you guys are interested in learning Power BI or Tableau, I would suggest first pick Power BI. It's more user friendly. It's more easier to learn. काफी ज़्यादा functionalities, कुछ ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन की जो functionalities हैं वो Excel में भी हैं, तो it will be easier for you to grasp it. ठीक है. So if there is any questions, you can ask them. Otherwise, there are a few questions. Okay, so Mohit Khan. Yeah, numpys and pandas are good. Okay, they are usually used if the data set is quite large. लेकिन Power BI भी उसको cater कर लेता है. The thing is Power BI के भी दो components हैं. एक तो Power BI desktop है और एक Power BI web है. If you have a premium license, इस premium license के साथ चलता है वो, तो you can create all your data flows on web. उसके साथ ये होगा, नो मैटर हाउ बिग योर डेटा इज, अब वो काफी हद तक आप सारी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन क्लाउड पे कर लेते हो, पावर बीआई सर्विसेज जो है, एंड देन यू कनेक्ट योर पावर बीआई डेस्कटॉप टू दैट डेटा एंड डेटा फ्लो. तो आपका डैशबोर्ड भी हैवी नहीं होता और वो इजीली ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन भी हो जाते हैं. बाकी जहाँ तक पाइथन इज बीइंग यूज्ड, बट वो ये है कि the more you get into more nuanced and advanced analytics, उसमें Python बहुत ज़्यादा यूज होता है. So yeah, if you can learn it, of course, it would be a big plus. लेकिन ये है कि as an entry positions इतना ज़्यादा यूज होता नहीं है. But if you do know Python, then that is an additional skill and that is great. Okay, and I hope I answered your question, Mohit. If not, then please let me know. Okay, Mariam is saying that template for this. That I would be sharing. मेरे ख्याल से देखता हूँ आगे होगा. I would be sharing the data sources और वो YouTube के courses भी. I think I can share the slides with you. I think I can send it to Shiza and she can share it with you guys. It is perfectly fine with me. And is there any other question or should I move on?
Shaheer, there was a question in the Q&A section by someone asking how can we improve our KPIs with tools other than Power BI?
Can you elaborate on that? Who asked that question?
I think it was
Would you
Furkan. Furkan, can you please like elaborate your question in the chat?
you want कि मतलब if your tools हो or like it can be a disadvantage if you know Power BI, but no, not really. अगर so for example, I know Power BI and यहाँ पे mobile link में they are using Tableau. Not a disadvantage. Uh, yeah, if it's very specific, the role is very specific. Okay, you have to know Power BI or you have to know Tableau. I think in the JD. तो फिर थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है. So for example, I took some interviews at S&P Global जहाँ पे हमें जल्दी से resource hire करना था and our requirement was कि इनको they're very very good at Power BI. तो उस cases में हाँ थोड़ा सा होता है if you don't know the tool, but otherwise इतना कोई issue नहीं है because if you know Power BI you can easily like transition to Tableau. क्योंकि चीजें एट द एंड ऑफ द डे जो बेसिक्स हैं वो तो सेम ही है. तो ये है कि एज सच कोई डिसएडवांटेज नहीं होगा. अगेन इसीलिए मैं कह रहा था कि अगर तो आप दोनों सीख रहे हो तो वेल एंड गुड, लेकिन कोई एक भी पावर भी आप वाइडली यूज हो रहा है बिकॉज ऑफ द डे लेटेस्ट डेवलपमेंट्स दे क्रिएटेड अ फैब्रिक. उधर ही आपका पावर बीआई भी है, उधर यू कैन क्रिएट अ डेटा लेक, डेटा वेयर हाउस. तो दैट्स व्हाई अ लॉट ऑफ कंपनीज आर मूविंग टुवर्ड्स पावर बीआई. बट अगेन टैबलो भी यूज हो रहा है, गूगल का भी एक प्लेटफॉर्म है लुकर, वो भी यूज होता है. क्योंकि द थिंग इज कि अंडरलाइन जो उसके प्रोसेसेस हैं वो आपको आने चाहिए कि ट्रांसफॉर्म कैसे डेटा करते हैं, डेटा को ज्वाइन कैसे करते हैं और विजुअलाइजेशन कैसे करते हैं और उसमें से डेटा एक्सट्रैक्ट करके प्रेजेंट कैसे और उसमें से इंसाइट्स कैसे निकाल सकते हैं. आई थिंक यू विल बी गुड टू गो. Any other question? Or until we clear it. कौन से three tools? Let me go back to this. I think these were SQL, AppsFlyer, and Firebase. Tanish, is this what you are referring to? Yeah, Excel, SQL, and Power BI is more than enough for starting. Because देखो Excel तो use होगा ही होगा. No matter अगर if you even if you are in HR, yeah, even if you are in sales, किसी ना किसी तरीके से Excel तो use हो ही रहा होगा. तो Excel is a must have skill. SQL क्योंकि डेटा रिपोजिटरीज बनी होती हैं, उसमें डेटा एक्सट्रैक्ट करना इज SQL, तो वो तो जरूरी है ही. Just give me a moment. अच्छा सॉरी फॉर दैट. हाँ, और पावर भी है या टैबलो, दोनों सीख लो, उससे बेहतर कोई चीज नहीं है. बट या दीज थ्री आर सफिशिएंट. Yeah, this is Sohaib. I will be getting to your point in a moment. Okay, how will you be industry ready? Just give me a few moments. I'll get back to you. Yeah, मुझे तलहा I haven't used Stata. R मैंने use किया था, वो भी just for a small script to extract the data, nothing more. So in my experience, R इतना नहीं use होता. Python भी आता है तो हो जाएगा. अगर नहीं आता बाकी ये तीन चार tools हैं, these are good for the entry level positions. ठीक है, इतना ज्यादा यार देखो, again, tools are something that can be learned. आज से 5 साल पहले no one gives, like no one cared about Python. ठीक है, the moment AI आया, the moment ChatGPT आया, everyone get on this bandwagon of learning Python. Same happened with Power BI. 5 साल पहले no one knew about Power BI. काफी कम लोग थे. Again, Tableau was not very widely used. Tableau फिर भी use होता था, but not people didn't know about it. So हर 5 साल बाद 6 साल बाद the tools will change, programming languages will change. The thing is कि underlying जो आपका mindset है, underlying जो ये चीज सीखने के यार opportunities क्या है, risks क्या है businesses को, and how to solve them. वही insights वाली चीज जो है. The moment you get good at it, no matter the tools, no matter the language, no one cares then, because everyone know क्या value का लेकर आ रहे हो, and that is the why, the how, why it happened and how to fix it. तो स्टैटा और आर अगर आता है गुड, आई थिंक स्टैटा तो रिसर्च में ज्यादा यूज होता है, आर इज मोर इनटू द, अगर बहुत ही कोई फाइनेंशियल जितने भी आपकी एनालिसिस वगैरह होते हैं यूजुअली कंपनीज कर रही होती हैं वो आर पे बहुत ज्यादा, बट अभी तक मैंने पर्सनली यूज नहीं किया. Are growth roles in companies similar to what analysts do? Yeah, growth analyst is like it's very basic analyst. Growth na एक step further है. So I was an analyst at a S&P Global. वहाँ पे मेरा role क्या था? I used to assess the 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 usage data of those platforms, and I used to visualize them, analyze them for the product and the sales team. Product team उसको अपने लिए use करती थी to make the product better. Sales team also use to upsell their products. So that was it. I was not doing insights. I was not bringing that much value to the company. And that was the question I used to ask from my manager as well. Okay, if we are not in the company, तो company को क्या नुकसान होगा? The answer is कुछ भी नहीं. कोई और आएगा, they will do the same thing. So insight is something that will take you the long way. So इसीलिए growth वहाँ पे different है, as I told you कि growth में you have to look at different departments. You have to be sure कि UI UX बेहतर हो रहा. You have to make sure कि marketing campaigns एक specific demographics को जिसको target कर रहे हैं उसी को भेज रहे हैं, और जो हमारे messaging है वो कैसे होने चाहिए. We have to make sure कि business side of things भी हम देख रहे हैं कि business team क्या कर रही है. Are they pushing our product? Are they making sure कि वे लोग हमारी ऐप की तरफ आए? तो डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स को ग्रोथ एसेस कर रहा होता है, बेस्ड ऑन दैट मेक डिसीजंस. एंड डिसीजंस क्या होंगे? डिसीजंस ये हैं कि हमने मार्केटिंग कैंपेन करनी है कि नहीं करनी, कौन सी करनी है, यूआई यूएक्स को कैसे बेहतर बनाना है, क्यों बेहतर बनाना है. या अगर बैक एंड पे ही प्रॉब्लम है, हमने यूआई यूएक्स भी कर लिया, हमने मार्केटिंग भी कर ली, हमने कैंपेन्स भी चला दी, हमने सब कुछ कर लिया, बट अगर बैक एंड ही नहीं ठीक, हमारा ऐप पे लॉग इन नहीं हो रहा कस्टमर, so now we have to go to the backend. We have to go to the IT team to make sure कि वो वाला problem fix हो. तो यह है कि different domains आप growth में देख रहे हो. Analyst is very like tip of the iceberg. There's a computer science minor give up when applying. Yeah, it's I think Mohit, it depends on the person that is hiring you. Usually, it will give you a huge advantage because a manager would be assuming कि कंप्यूटर साइंस माइनर है तो कुछ ना कुछ प्रोग्रामिंग भी आती होगी, और जब वो आती है तो एनालिटिक्स आपके लिए वैसे ही बहुत बेहतर हो जाती है, बिकॉज देन यू आर नॉट डिपेंडेंट ऑन टूल्स एज सच. एक्सेल पे डिपेंडेंट नहीं हो, हाँ एसक्यूएल पे हो, बट पावर बीआई टैबलेट पे डिपेंडेंट नहीं हो, एंड यू कैन गो मोर एडवांस्ड टू इट, और फोरकास्टिंग की साइड पे जा सकते हैं. You can go towards segmentations को, I think basket को एनालिसिस कहते हैं, जहाँ पे you can see कि जो I think I'm forgetting the name of it. फिर जो advanced analytics में आप प्रोग्राम को सोचा सकते हो, that's always a plus. तो yeah, computer science minor is good. Yeah, Hamza, I will be getting back to your point about these certifications. और ऊपर भी किसी ने क्वेश्चन पूछा था regarding industry ready. सो वो भी मैं बल्कि अभी मैं बता देता हूँ. Let me share my screen. I think I'm sharing my screen. Okay. So how to break in? So yeah, do class projects नहीं है, case competitions नहीं है, doesn't matter. कोई cases आपको यूनिवर्सिटी में मिल रहे होंगे, नहीं है, doesn't matter. Go to Kaggle. फ्री में डेटा पड़ा हुआ है वहाँ पे, डिफरेंट और काफी क्लीन डेटा है, उसमें इतनी ज़्यादा ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन नहीं करनी पड़ेगी. And do create your profiles on GitHub and create a portfolio. Lovable, Canva, amazing platforms. आप Lovable को एक कमांड दो, आपको वो वेबसाइट बना के दे देगा. You can publish it as well. तो इतना कोई इशू नहीं है. GitHub पे be present at GitHub as well. Create projects. Look, no one cares about your GPA. I will be very blunt. Of course, filter लगाया होता है कंपनीज ने यूनिवर्सिटी का और जीपीए का, बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे अब मैटर नहीं करता. इफ यू हैव this social presence where you can show your projects or projects and CVs खाली दिखाने नहीं है. And this is how you get industry ready. And again to your question, Hamza, about that certificate. अगर certificate नहीं भी है, who cares about a certificate? अगर आपने पूरा project ही दिखाएगा Power BI का, who cares about a certificate? अगर आपने Tableau का भी project है आपके पास, SQL का भी project है आपके पास, website बनी हुई है जहाँ पे you are showcasing your projects, you have a GitHub profile जहाँ पे you are showing your projects. And खाली projects नहीं है, understand the data. एक assume कर लो situation कि यार इसमें से मैंने क्या निकाला, ठीक है, क्योंकि मेरे ख्याल से केगल में डेटा सेट्स के साथ उन्होंने बताया था किस किस्म का डेटा सेट है, तो you can make your own problem statement and then create a dashboard Power BI या Tableau and just show कि ये this was the purpose of this project. Don't create a project for the sake of project. Purpose क्या था उसका और उससे निकला क्या है and how will it benefit. So ये है do projects. LinkedIn पे एक्टिव रहो. मैं भी एक्टिव नहीं हूँ. I'm trying to be more active on it. लेकिन personal branding is very important. ठीक है, it's not a branding कोई सेशन नहीं है, but it's very important in nowadays. क्योंकि the thing is your projects, your uh, accessibility and your readiness to learn can be seen through your personal branding. तो वो काफी ज्यादा जरूरी हो चुकी है. तो आई वुड रियली सजेस्ट, और ये मेरे लिए भी एडवाइस कि मुझे भी इस पे काम करना चाहिए. तो ये है कि आई वुड रियली सजेस्ट Hamza, and कि rather than सर्टिफिकेट्स, अगर सर्टिफिकेट्स को देखो एडिशनल बेनिफिट ही है, कोई उसका नुकसान नहीं है, बट ये है कि आई वुड सजेस्ट कि सर्टिफिकेट से बेहतर ये है कि क्रिएट अ प्रोजेक्ट एंड शो योर प्रोजेक्ट. एंड who asked the question of industry ready? I think this I can't find the chat, but yeah, that is how you will be industry ready. Because look, the recruiters will be seeing your CV. They will be looking at your LinkedIn. They will be looking at your projects. Last year, I took an interview at S&P Global, और हमने 3 लोग शॉर्टलिस्ट किए, और उनमें से एक लड़की थी, 2 लड़के थे. जो 2 लड़के थे, दे वर मोर, उनके पास एक्सपीरियंस भी ज़्यादा था, अगेन प्रोग्रामिंग नॉलेज भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा था, एंड वी वर आल्सो थिंकिंग कि अगर हम उनको हायर करें, वी हैव एन एडिशनल एज कि जिसको प्रोग्रामिंग आती हो, जो हमारे लिए एआई वाली साइड और फोरकास्टिंग और वो वाली चीज़ें भी देख ले. बट वी वेंट with that girl. The reason was we looked at her. I looked at her profile. उसके पास LinkedIn premium था. She had certificates. She had projects. उसने GitHub बनाया था, इसने अपनी वेबसाइट बनाई थी. She presented her project during the interview as well, और उसकी वेबसाइट और GitHub पे भी थे. So after, and she was a recent graduate. So that just showed that someone is already willing to learn that much without a job. So and without any assistance. So जब सारी assistance मिलेगी, you will be an employee of a company. आपको लाइसेंसेस के इश्यूज नहीं होंगे, आपको हेल्थ के इश्यूज नहीं होंगे, आपको कोई कोर्सेज की कोई इशू नहीं होगा, ट्रेनिंग्स आती रहती हैं, आपको लाइसेंसेस इजीली मिल जाते हैं, आपके पास के लोग होते हैं बताने वाले। तो तब व्हाट एल्स यू कैन डू देन, अगर आप खाली ग्रेजुएशन के दौरान इतना कुछ कर रहे हो। सो दैट वाज देन वी हायर्ड हर ओनली बिकॉज ऑफ के इवन शी इज एन ग्रेजुएट, उसने वो चीजें की हैं जो हमने अभी तक नहीं की हुई, एंड वी हैव बीन इन दिस इंडस्ट्री फॉर 3 to 4 years. So yeah, that's always a plus. Is there any website we can pick random projects from to gain? What do you mean, Bilal, by random projects? Do you mean the data sets or your whole projects, like Pura Power BI ka project, Tableau project? And Mohit is, how is data analyst in career in Pakistan in terms of career growth, availability of jobs? Um, yeah, that's sadly, Pakistan में data analyst in most companies, especially जो छोटी companies हैं, उधर data analyst is a very fancy name for someone जो पूरा दिन बैठ के रिपोर्टिंग करता है और एक्सेल मैनुअल काम कर रहा होता है. So go for big companies, bank, S&P Global, there's Jazz, Mobile Link, Bank, uh, और जोन से भी बड़ी कंपनीज है, go there. वहाँ पे यार ट्रेजेक्ट्री जो है ना, द थिंग इज काफी क्लीशेड चीज है मोहित, बट द ट्रुथ इज ट्रेजेक्ट्री हमने खुद बनानी होती है. ऐसे भी एनालिस्ट 3 3 साल तक उधर ही बैठे रहते हैं, ऐसे भी हैं जो 8 महीने साल बाद भी प्रमोट हो जाते हैं, उनको सैलरीज भी अच्छी मिल जाती है, उनकी स्टार्टिंग भी अच्छी होती है. यार अब स्टार्टिंग इज गुड नाउअडेज, तो अब अच्छा है आपको, आई गेस between 120 150 is I guess now is average. ठीक है, so that is a good starting point. और उसके ऊपर आपने जाना है, that is in your hands. Of course, luck is the factor as well, but uh, the more you get yourself involved in projects, the more you show your willingness to learn, and the more you do extra. तो मैं नहीं कहूँगा extra तो नहीं करना ज्यादा, लेकिन ये है कि एक्स्ट्रा से मैं ये है कि गो वन स्टेप फर्दर. किसी ने एनालिटिक्स मांगी है, गिव देम इनसाइट्स एज वेल. किसी ने एक इनसाइट मांगा है तो उसको दो दे दो जस्ट इन केस. तो ये है, वो वाली चीज आपके अपने हाथ में होती है. बाकी या गो फॉर बिग कंपनीज, आई वुड सजेस्ट दैट, क्योंकि वहां पे थोड़ा सा रोल आपका डिफाइंड होगा और दे विल बी एक्सपेक्टिंग an analyst will do an analyst job rather than a reporting job. यार बिलाल, आई थिंक डेटा सेट्स वो केगल पे ही है, या और यू कैन सर्च इट. मुझे खाली एक दो और भी थी, आई फॉरगॉट द नेम, लेकिन मेरे ख्याल से केगल पे प्रॉब्लम सेट्स भी होते हैं, यू कैन सी एंड कंफर्म दैट. लेकिन और भी हैं प्लेटफॉर्म्स, आई कांट रिकॉल द नेम, लेकिन प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं जहाँ पे आपको प्रॉब्लम सेट्स ही पड़े होते हैं. या अगर नहीं है तो गो टू यूट्यूब पे था कोई एक चैनल ऐसा जहाँ पे ही क्रिएटेड होल प्रोजेक्ट्स इसके, तो वो भी आप एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हो टू गेट एन आइडिया कि कैसे कैसे प्रोजेक्ट्स हो सकते हैं. Is 1 year enough to gain relevant skills to break? हाँ यार डेफिनेटली, we have in our team वो LUMS के ग्रेजुएट है, और he was a econ major and he's working. He's not in an analyst role, but he's in the product side. तो वो ये है कि 1 year is more than enough, क्योंकि it won't take, believe me, it won't take a lot of time. लेकिन ये है कि उसके लिए you have to make sure you set your goals for yourself. क्योंकि मैंने Power BI सीखा, I learned it on the job within one and a half month, क्योंकि मजबूरी थी मेरी, इसलिए जल्दी सीखा गया. तो ये है कि set yourself a target, then 1 year is more than enough. उसमें ये है कि you will have multiple projects and you will have your GitHub or your website. LinkedIn भी अच्छा हो जाएगा, वेबसाइट भी अच्छी हो जाएगी, सो इट्स easier to showcase your work. मतलब you will be industry ready. Anyone who will be interviewing you, वो इस mindset के साथ interview लेगा होगा कि यार ये fresh graduate है, इसको नहीं आता होगा. But the moment they'll take an interview, they'll change their perception, and that's a big plus. तो क्योंकि मोस्टली लोग नहीं करते, मैंने भी नहीं किया था वो इस्तेमाल. मोस्टली लोग नहीं करते. इफ यू कैन डू इट, दिस इज एन एक्स्ट्रा एज, बिलीव मी. मतलब काफी चीजें बेहतर हो जाएंगी. हाँ एग्जैक्टली मन. आई थिंक उसमें शायद प्रॉब्लम सेट्स भी दिए होते हैं, लाइक उन्होंने बता दी होती डिस्क्रिप्शन के हो क्या है डेटा. Any tips for young professionals, 1 to 2 years of job professionals, management science? Yeah, there's no tip, to be honest. The tip is that move frequently. 2 to 3 years is enough in a job. After that, move. Because I really believe, I'm a big believer of it कि आप पहले साल खाली सीखते हो, दूसरे साल चीज़ों को implement करते हो and you get better at it, और तीसरे साल चीज़ें repetitive हो जाती हैं. तीसरे साल में मजा खत्म हो जाता है करने. So I would really suggest anyone who's a working professional कि यार अगर 3 साल हो गए हैं, just move for a better opportunity. ये नहीं कि move downgrade नहीं करना. Move for a better opportunity. क्योंकि ये है कि 2-3 years is enough. 2 years कम हो जाएगा. 3 years is perfect time to make a switch. And yeah, just keep on. नहीं, फिर नहीं करना. If you are satisfied, Noor, if you are satisfied at your current job, then don't move too much. It has a very negative connotation on your CV then. कि यार इसको हायर करके क्या फायदा है, 6 महीने बाद दोबारा मुझ पर से. तो don't move that much. अगर कर लिया है, if you are happy with your job, then stay there for at least a year or so. A year, 1.5 year, ताकि after a year or so you can apply, ताकि ये है कि 1.5-2 साल के अंदर you can get into a better opportunity. But ज़्यादा move करना भी is not good, क्योंकि वो एक recruiters don't find it like a good thing. तो इसलिए if you are happy in your current job, if you are learning और कल्चर वगैरह अच्छा है, stay there. नहीं है then फिर तो मजबूरी है, फिर you have to move. Otherwise, I would suggest don't. But yeah, just be curious, just learn and yeah, get better at these things. अगर जॉब से रिलेटेड में होना है तो उसमें हो. अगर if you are eyeing for something else, उस चीज के लिए. If I give you my example, I was looking for the growth role for the last 1 year. और 2 से 3 जगह मुझे रिजेक्शन आई because of lack of experience. Either I because I did my homework, क्या कुछ required है role के लिए. I kind of learned that, understand that कि industry कैसे काम कर रही है और कैसे जरूरत पड़ सकती है. And then after a year, I got the role that I wanted. So ये है कि या तो अपना गोल बनाओ और उसमें सीखो, या तो if you are currently where you want to be in terms of role, in terms of the career path, तो उसी में ही excel करो. Okay, अच्छा, मोहित, the latter part. Okay, the thing is कि analyst ना यार काफी एक surface level पे होता है कि in my previous role it was very surface. Analytics निकाल teams को दे दिया because इतनी बड़ी organization है, तो उसमें they have like काफी processes streamlined थे. So every team has their own business analyst जो कि insights वगैरह करता है. तो my job was only analytics, काफी surface level पे था. Growth is more into कि यार I have to look at the marketing, I have to look at the product UI UX specifically. I have to look at the business side of things as well. क्योंकि अगर ऐप पे लोग नहीं आ रहे तो क्यों नहीं आ रहे? बिजनेस नहीं लेकर आ रहा, बिजनेस फोर्स नहीं कर रहा फ्रेंचाइजेस को कि दे मेक मोर एफर्ट so that more people come to us on branch. मार्केटिंग ठीक नहीं हो रही, और अगर नहीं हो रही तो क्यों नहीं हो रही, चैलेंजेस क्या है, यूआई यूएक्स बेहतर नहीं है, अगर सारी चीजें बेहतर हैं तो फिर प्रॉब्लम कहाँ पे आ रहा है? क्या पता लोगों से लॉग इन ही नहीं हो रहा ऐप पे। Then I'll go to IT to discuss that with them. So growth is क्योंकि डिजिटल ग्रोथ है तो इसमें ये है to see multiple aspects of thing. काफी एक वाइडर आपका विजन कह लो या वाइडर स्कोप हो जाता है रोल का। एनालिटिक्स फिर थोड़ा सा बैक स्टेप पे हो जाती है, एनालिटिक्स चल रही होती है साथ साथ, पर ये वो हाँ, क्योंकि डिसीजंस तो रहते हैं लोग डेटा और एनालिटिक्स के साथ ही करते हैं, बट द थिंग इज यू गेट मोर इनटू communicating with people and making sure that चीजें streamlined है and whatever the data is telling us उसी के थ्रू चीजें हो रही हैं या नहीं, so that kind of so I hope I answered all your questions. अगर और कोई है यार please feel free to ask questions. And again this is just a starter kit. Again वही चीजें repetitive हैं. Be patient. थोड़ा सा overwhelming होगा शुरू में, थोड़ी सी चीजें मुश्किल होंगी, कहाँ कहीं पे कंसिस्टेंट नहीं रहोगे, मोटिवेशन खत्म हो जाएगी, इट हैपेंस, बट स्टार्ट फ्रॉम समवेयर, स्टार्ट लेटर, थोड़ा थोड़ा रोज कर लिया, हफ्ते में कर लिया, बट करना है। एंड जस्ट मेक श्योर यार it's very important, it's something that I'm lacking as well, and I want you guys to have your own website, to have your own portfolios. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, खाली जॉब के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, बट इवन अगर फ्रीलांसिंग में भी जाना है, क्योंकि फ्रीलांसिंग में आपको क्यों कोई हायर करेगा, एंड इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। हाँ, दिस इज आल्सो अ टिप फॉर यू गाइस, फॉर यू, अगर यार ये थ्रू वेबसाइट्स, थ्रू पोर्टफोलियोज, there is a big opportunity for you in this freelancing world, क्योंकि it will be more professional। एक जगह मैं अप्लाई कर रहा हूँ जॉब के लिए जहाँ पे मेरे पास कुछ भी नहीं है, ना वेबसाइट है ना प्रोजेक्ट्स दिखाने के लिए, whereas the other person is applying for the same job with a complete package of things। LinkedIn भी है, GitHub भी है, personal website भी है, उसपे projects भी हैं, and of course you will have a much better chance। Mr. Paul, you mentioned the importance of learning programming language. Yeah, Danish, it's good to have skill, ठीक है, ये programming वाली, especially in the later stage of your career, अगर analyst में जाना है। देखो दो चीजें हैं ना, एनालिस्ट में रहते हुए गोल क्या है, उसी में ग्रो करना है या मैनेजरियल साइड पे चले जाना है। अगर मैनेजरियल साइड पे जाना है देन लीव इट, अगर नहीं जाना तो और कोर डेटा के अंदर ही रहना है, देन दिस इज एक्सट्रीमली इम्पोर्टेंट। प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज सीखो, बिकॉज आप एडवांस एनालिटिक्स कर सकते हो, फोरकास्टिंग आप कर सकते हो, आप कुछ मशीन लर्निंग कर सकते हो, आप I still can't remember the name है, वो मार्केट बकेट एनालिसिस होता है जिसमें यू कैन सी कि एक कस्टमर मल्टीपल चीजें बाय कर, आई थिंक जो कंप्यूटर माइनर्स हैं वो बता सकते हैं। तो हाँ, उस टाइप के आप एनालिसिस कर सकते हो, तो वो तो ऑफ कोर्स उसकी तो हर कंपनी को जरूरत है। इवन के अच्छे, I'll be pretty honest with you and I'll be very blunt कि अच्छे एनालिस्ट इवन के बेसिक लेवल पे भी नहीं है। लोग हैं, मैंने काम किया है, सो कॉल्ड एनालिस्ट हैं, बट ऑल दे डू इज बेसिक कॉपी पेस्ट और रिपोर्टिंग। लाइक उनकी भी मजबूरी ये है कि दे डू नॉट नो मोर थिंग्स, सो इट्स ऑलवेज बेटर। लेकिन स्टार्टिंग के लिए ऑफ कोर्स जितना है कोई, जितना गुड़ डालोगे उतना मीठा है, बट स्टार्टिंग के लिए इट्स नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट कि आपको प्रोग्रामिंग आनी चाहिए। बट हाँ, एज अ लाइक आई नो अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ पाइथन, वो मैंने कब सीखी, वो मैंने ड्यूरिंग माय जॉब, और वो भी खाली वो पार्ट जो मुझे जरूरी था, नॉट एवरीथिंग इन पाइथन, दैट्स नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट, क्योंकि द थिंग इज आपके पास टाइम नहीं होता, मेरे पास नहीं है, अब आपके पास है, श्योर, गो अहेड, लर्न इट, मतलब इससे बेहतर कोई चीज नहीं है, आई बी प्रीटी ऑनेस्ट। लेकिन अगर स्टार्टिंग कैरियर के लिए जो 3-4 टूल्स हैं these are perfect for entry level positions.
Shaheer, since there are no more questions, we can conclude the session if that's all from your side.
Yeah, sure, definitely. That's all from my side.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
thank you very
much.
much, guys. Thank you for joining. I hope whatever you were expecting from the session, you got out of it. Again, if you still have your questions, I will be adding my email here. Apna
Shahir, we can
email
also
to
share
you.
your LinkedIn if that's okay with you.
Yeah, okay, I will share the
Perfect.
screen.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
everyone, for
definitely.
joining.
Yeah.
I think your video is stuck.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. It's just your
Yeah.
video that's stuck. That's fine.
Okay. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
message
I'll
me there.
so we'll
So,
send them the feedback form for this session, and I'll share your LinkedIn profile in that. Okay.
okay. Sounds
Thank you
good.
so
Sounds good.
much. Thank you so much for
Thank you very
conducting the
much.
session. And thank you everyone for joining. I'm sharing some resources and a feedback form. We would really appreciate if you could give us your feedback so that we can keep on doing these workshops for you. Thank you, Shaheer. Thank you so much for joining. And thank you for
Okay.
answering the questions.
No worries. Yeah,
Chale,
definitely
take care.
feel free to reach out. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.